Mr. Bildt, you're what some might consider a profile in microblogging because you use Twitter very much. During your visit to China, you've been using Weibo, tweeting directly to Chinese netizens. What's your impression of Weibo and what's your impression of Chinese social media?
Weibo is of course a very powerful instrument which is followed by lots of people all over China. The disadvantage is of course that it's somewhat secluded from the rest of the world. So we don't get sort of the interaction between sort of the Twitter that is used in most of the other parts of the world and Weibo here. That being said, Weibo is from a technological point of view a very powerful platform to some extent, better than Twitter.
Do you like it?
Well, I like it. I mean, the disadvantage is of course that most of it is in Chinese, which is not my specialty.
You're the Swedish foreign minister and I assume you're a very busy man. Still, you find time to tweet a lot. Why do you do this?
Well, I don't really devote much time to tweeting. It's rather that it has become an integrated part of what I do otherwise. I mean, we use telephones, we use whatever that are part of the everyday activities that we do, and to some extent to the same way, Twitter becomes an integrated part of the work that you do.
You are one of the founders, one might say, of the Stockholm-China Forum that recently met for the 13th time in Shanghai. Since you started the SCF in 2007, what function does the forum, would you say, have now, and in terms of relationships between China and the rest of the world?
Well, it has developed tremendously since we started sort of the late winter of 2007. At that time, it was only Americans and Europeans, and we had somewhat different views on what was happening in China. And the intention of the forum was really to bridge the transatlantic divide on China. That has happened, I think. But then, of course, it was natural to bring in different Chinese representatives and eventually to have meetings here in China. So we've come a long way. Much more open, much more dynamic, much more interesting discussions on the most burning and sensitive issues nowadays.